Hey, everybody. Rachel the Realtor here. I'm excited. Today on The Real with Rachel, we have Nathan from Robert's Radon. We're getting into it with the Radon talk. Hello, Nathan. How are you?
Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing well as well. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. We got lots of questions about radon. First of all, from a realtor standpoint, it's something that comes up in a home. People have questions about it. What the heck is it? How does it affect me? Who does it affect? And how the heck do I get rid of it? And can I use it as an out in my contracts? And that answer right there is yes. But Nathan is going to give us some intel on what radon is and all the insights behind it. So what is it, Nathan?
Yeah, no, all good questions. So radon is a natural, odorless, colorless gas. It comes from a natural breakdown of uranium in the soil, and it can enter and get trapped in homes, and that's how you get higher concentrations of it. And the health risk associated with it is lung cancer.
And it's scary because it's odorless, right? So you don't smell it. It's kind of similar to gas. However, don't they add a smell to the gas to kind of, in case there's a leak, but radon, not so much, right? Because it's odorless. So you don't know. So there's systems designed to test for it. And you guys offer a vast array of different testing systems. And there's also ways to remediate it. Now, radon, my understanding is that it's more prevalent in basement areas. It's outside naturally, right?
But it averages about 0.4 picocuries per liter outside, whereas in the inside of the home, on average, it's around 1.3 for national average.
Okay, and that's a healthy thing, the 1.3. What's the limit? Like when you guys are testing, we have a certain limit. I believe it's 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then with the 4, if anything comes over that 4 picos, right? Is that how you guys say it?
Yep.
How you measure? Okay, good job. Yep. Anything over that is typically something that would be recommended to be rectified. And in doing so, we put in a system, we meaning Nathan, or is that something that you guys do? Do you offer that service with remediation?
It is. Yep. Yeah. So we do some of it we do in-house. Some of it we do through subcontractors. It really depends on the individual property. But yeah, no, we can help, anyone out with remediation, so we can kind of be a one-stop shop.
Oh, that's awesome. What kind of system, like what does it look like? Give an idea of what the type of system would look like and where it would go to get rid of that gas.
So the systems look different in different houses. There's really kind of 2 kinds of systems. One would be a passive system. You typically see passive systems in newer built homes. Technically, it's any home. It depends a little on the county, but it's usually 1995 and later is when the building codes changed to build this passive pipe into the home during construction. So if you have a newer home, basically what you have is you already have the radon vent pipe that goes from the basement all the way up through the walls of the house, and then it exits through the roof. And if you have one of those systems, they're a little bit easier and cheaper to remediate because the pipe obviously is already there.
Half the battle's already.
Exactly. So it just needs to be activated. And how we do that is we install a fan in the attic attached to the pipe. And that fan's just going to create suction in the tube that's going to pull the gas from under the foundation. Now, if you have an older home, let's say before 1995, then what we need to do is basically the same thing, but we need to install the pipe ourselves. Now, when we do that, it looks a little different because the pipe is not ran up through the house. How that's done on the older homes is the pipe is installed in the basement. We'll drill a hole into the foundation in the basement.
Okay.
We'll take that pipe up, and then we'll also punch another hole and run that pipe to the outside of the home and then up the side of the house. And then on those pipes, the radon fan is attached to the pipe on the outside of the house.
Awesome. So it's almost like a little mini vacuum to suck out that poisonous air from underneath. And then I guess it's got to go above the roof line in order for it to be safe standards, right? You don't want to just spew it out to where your kids are playing at the side of your house. So going up would make most sense. Okay, I get it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Very cool. And that's something that you can tie into like a sump pump as well? Or is this something that needs like a separate system, or it just depends on the house?
So for a while, they're tied into sump pumps. I believe the code just changed there, where I think it has to be ran next to the sump pump now.
Okay.
I got to double check on that. But historically, it's been run through the sump pump. So if it's not through the sump pump, it's going to be, right in that area.
Right next to it. Okay, perfect. And then give me an idea, right? Testing, this is something that We usually advise on the buyer side of things. It's something that can be a contingency, usually for single family homes. I know it is a legal requirement for single family homes in Montgomery County. When you play with us out in the kind of surrounding areas, a test is usually comes into play. What does that look like? What are the costs associated, the turnaround time, and what the results usually look like? Is it like just a sheet that says, hey, this is where we are, that you recommend? What does that all entail with the testing?
Yeah, good question. So, so the turnaround time is 48 hours. That's how long it takes to complete the test. Our cost for radon testing is $169
Nice.
for that 48-hour test.
Okay.
And basically what we're going to do is we're going to come into your home. It's a very quick process. It takes about 5 minutes each time for the setup and for the pickup. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to the lowest level of the home, whether that's just the ground floor or the basement. It doesn't matter. But whatever that lowest level is where we'll set the radon test device up. We set it up on a tripod about 3 feet off the ground, and that machine is just going to sit there for 48 hours. Then we'll come back after the 48 hours, pick it up, and we'll get you your results. The results just it's about a 4-page report. It'll have your reading on it. It'll have the official EPA recommendation based off your specific reading. And then it'll also show the radon breakdown hourly. So it's kind of cool. You'll be able to look on a graph and also in the table format how the radon fluctuates each hour.
Oh, I love it. I love that tech. Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I don't think I've really knew that technology existed to measure the different levels at different times. That's really cool. So with testing, you had mentioned something about the way that testing needs to go down. Give us an outline as to how that happens.
Yeah, so there's a couple rules for radon testing that are important in order to get you a valid report. And there's basically 3 rules. The main rule that everyone needs to follow is that 12 hours prior to testing and for the duration of testing, which is 48 hours, all doors and windows need to remain closed in the house. Now, you can go in and out of the house as much as you need. You're not locked in the home. But the whole idea is to generally keep the house closed up and to just close the door behind you when you go out. Keep all the windows shut for the testing duration. And then besides the doors and windows remaining closed, just don't move the machine. Just once the machine's placed, it just needs to stay in the place it's been put. And then also no air can be blown directly on the machine. So just, don't blow any fans in the direction.
Because if it is present outside, then that could affect the readings that are inside. So we want to try and keep that space as airtight as possible. Don't mess with it. Don't blow on it. Don't try and manipulate it because we'll know. And that's pretty much it, right? 48 hours. Just leave it there.
You got it. Yep. And we got tamper evident machines too. So if it's been moved,
you serious? Oh my gosh. So we know if somebody's tried to mess with the test?
Yeah, so if the machine's been moved, or if there's a big pressure differential, for example, which can signal that windows or doors were left open, there are ways for us to know. So give realtors like you some confidence that you guys will definitely be getting accurate results, and we can kind of tell if anyone's
that is definitely a great piece of information. I didn't know that. Thank you, tech. All right, very cool. And then it seems like, it's more of a prevalent issue in the areas that we operate in, right? Montgomery, Howard, Carroll, Frederick. More higher levels coming down off the mountains. I guess it's because of the breakdown of the rocks than we do like on top of the mountain. Do you ever see stuff like that? Where it's here, no levels, and then here they're high.
Yeah, so radon, it's kind of like a tornado. It can kind of be in one house and not the other house. Typically, if you have high radon, typically there'll be other houses in that neighborhood with high radon. But just because your house came back high doesn't mean other houses in that neighborhood will necessarily be high for sure.
Isn't that crazy?
But what you said earlier was correct. I've noticed you see higher concentrations kind of near the rocky, hilly areas. So as you more get into the Hagerstown area, Frederick area, you'll typically see higher concentrations for sure.
Yeah, isn't that I just think it's so interesting to me. I love to see the different data and the research that, it's very cool how it impacts us environmentally and the demographics and the territories and everything else. It's really cool. But yeah, it sounds like it's something that can easily be tested for, easily be rectified. It's just taking the appropriate steps. And of course, during escrow, during your inspections, that's typically when this should be done. And then, of course, they can always reach out to you guys if they need some remediation or testing. And I'll include a link. You guys can reach Nathan at Roberts Radon right here. Here's the link and everything else, a way to contact them. Is there a good number that they can call you on directly, how to get scheduled?
Yeah, of course. So you can call us. You can call or text message. You can call or text 301-750-2695.
Okay, awesome. Got it. Texting. That is the way to go. So realtors, buddies, my amigos, if you guys need any type of radon inspection services, need to chat about remediation, you got it. Nathan's amazing. They've already done a multiple amount of my properties thus far. Go ahead and check them out. Any testing needs, remediation needs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next one. Bye.
Exactly.